dear friends and students, in today's video I am going to explain the two types of circular motion, which are uniform circular motion and non-uniform circular motion. All of you know that the classification of types of circular motion, that is done on the basis of whether the speed of that object changes or remain constant. So let us consider the first type, that is the uniform circular motion. So first of all, consider the definition. What do you mean by UCM? It is abbreviated as UCM, that is the uniform circular motion. So that is, simply you can consider the basic definition of circular motion, which is the motion of object along the circumference of circle. This is the basic definition of circular motion. But how that object perform its circular motion? So it perform the circular motion with constant linear speed, angular speed and angular velocity. This type of circular motion is called uniform circular motion. You can give the example of uniform circular motion as in clock, the motion of tip of hands, that is considered as a uniform circular motion. And we can also consider Earth revolve around the sun. That's why the motion of Earth around the sun is also considered as a uniform circular motion. We can also consider as moon revolve around the Earth. Therefore, the motion of moon around the Earth is also considered as a uniform circular motion. Now, we have to consider the characteristics of uniform circular motion. So, these are the points on which you got objective or short answer question. Now, as the definition itself indicates, in uniform circular motion, which of the speed that remain constant, that is the first characteristic, you can easily write it. So in uniform circular motion, linear speed, angular speed and angular velocity remain constant. That is the first characteristic, you can easily remember. The second characteristic, as the particle moves from one position to other position, the velocity, direction of velocity, that is the linear velocity, changes continuously. I draw here a figure when the particle moves from position A to position B, from position B to position C and from position C to position D. Then you clearly observe here the direction of velocity continuously changes. Therefore, I write here linear velocity changes due to change in direction of velocity. In uniform circular motion, as the velocity changes, that's why it is called as a accelerated motion. This is the motion which repeats itself after the definite interval of time. That's why this motion is called as a periodic motion. Now here, as the angular velocity remain constant, as angular velocity remain constant, well, we know that angular acceleration is the rate of change of angular velocity with respect to time. If velocity remain constant, then acceleration, that is going to 0. Therefore, I write here as angular acceleration 0, therefore tangential acceleration is 0. Why angular acceleration is 0? Because angular velocity remain constant and the differentiation of constant term, that is equal to 0. If angular acceleration is 0, then tangential acceleration given by at equal to r alpha. T for tangential acceleration equal to r alpha. As alpha equal to 0, therefore here angular acceleration 0, tangential acceleration is also 0. And here in uniform circular motion, whatever the work done by the force on a body, that is equal to 0. Now why work done? by the force on a body is 0. So here we know that work done is the product of force and displacement. If we use the property of scalar product of two vectors, so we can write as F into S into cos theta. As the angle between force and displacement is always 90, and as cos 90 equal to 0, therefore this complete work done, that is equal to 0. So that's why I write here work done by the force is 0. So these are the certain characteristics which we can easily remember. A 2 marks question can be asked in our board exam, that is define UCM and state its characteristics. Now consider the second type of circular motion as non-uniform circular motion. We can also consider the same thing, that is the motion of an object along the circumference of circle with change in speed. Earlier, the speed of the object remained constant, but in non-uniform circular motion, the speed of that object changes continuously. So that's why I write here the motion of an object along the circumference of circle with the change in speed, that is with the variable speed. That motion is called as non-uniform circular motion. Consider the example. If we consider one object, if this object is tied with the string and when it is revolved in a vertical circle, then this object performs the non-uniform circular motion. Now why this object performs the non-uniform circular motion? That can be explained easily with the help of this diagram. Now if we consider initially that object is present at lowest position. Now when this object moves from lowest position to the middle one, then here the magnitude of velocity, that is the linear velocity, changes. At the lowest position, its linear velocity is given by under root of 5rg. At the middle, its velocity becomes under root of 3rg. When it moves from middle to top position or highest position, now its speed becomes under root of rg. Opposite is the case when it moves from highest position to middle one to the lowest position. So in half part, the speed of the object decreases as that object moves from lowest position to highest position, and in other half part its speed increases. It means during the vertical circular motion of that object which is tied with the help of string, the speed of the object changes continuously. That's why this example is considered as an example of non-uniform circular motion. Later on we have to prove these values in vertical circular motion. So we will explain in a next video. Now here we can also consider the characteristic of non-uniform circular motion similar to that of the characteristics of uniform circular motion. Now the first characteristic that can be written again from the definition, that in non-uniform circular motion, the speed of the object changes continuously. It doesn't remain constant. Then here linear velocity changes because of change in both. There is a change in magnitude also. Here the magnitude is under root of 5rg. Here the magnitude is under root of 3rg. Here the magnitude is under root of simply rg. Here the direction of velocity also changes. That's why I write here linear velocity changes due to change in both magnitude as well as direction. Now as there is a change in velocity, again this motion is also considered as a accelerated motion. Now here in non-uniform circular motion, in addition to centripetal force, now we have to explain this centripetal force just in the next part. That is, in addition to centripetal force, tangential force also act on that body which is performing this non-uniform circular motion. It means in non-uniform circular motion we have the two forces, that is the centripetal force and the tangential force. Now here work done by the centripetal force is 0, but work done by the tangential force is not 0. And as this is the motion in which the speed changes continuously, that's why this object doesn't perform the one revolution in a particular time. That's why this motion is considered as a non-periodic motion. So these are the certain characteristics of non-uniform circular motion. So you can easily remember what do you mean by UCM and its characteristic, and what do you mean by non-uniform circular motion and its characteristic. From the characteristic you can easily compare between UCM and non-UCM, uniform circular motion and non-uniform circular motion. Now after considering the two types of circular motion, that is the UCM and non-UCM, now we are going to start the two again important topics, that is the what do you mean by centripetal force and centrifugal force. Now let us consider the first one, that is the centripetal force. Now as the name itself indicates its meaning. Now if we split this word centripetal, now centri means center and petal means toward, means in short we can consider this is the force which is acted toward the center. From the name of the force itself we can consider the meaning of that force. Centri means center and petal means toward. In short, this is the force which is acting toward the center, but we have to write it proper definition. So what do you mean by centripetal force? So it is the force acting on a particle which is performing circular motion. Now this force is always acted toward the center and along the radius. So this force is called as a centripetal force. That's why I write here the force acting on a particle performing circular motion which is acted toward the center and along the radius. That force is called as a centripetal force. Now if we consider this is an object which is performing the circular motion, AB its initial position. Now if I join the center and position of that object, then we get the radius vector. Now here this is the force which is always acted toward the center and along the radius. Now centripetal force can be given by the formula. Obviously we write here force is the product of mass and acceleration. So here we have to use the three values of centripetal acceleration as A equal to V square by R, A equal to V omega and A equal to R omega square. So that's why I write here the three formulae. That is centripetal force equal to mv square by r, centripetal force equal to mv omega and centripetal force equal to mr omega square. Now here we can consider initially the example of centripetal force. We consider here the known example. Now all of you know that Earth revolves around the Sun in a particular orbit. Now for the circular motion of Earth around the Sun, whatever the force necessary, that force is the centripetal force. Now this centripetal force here provided by the gravitational force of attraction between Earth and the Sun. What I say here, as the Earth revolves around the Sun, for the circular motion of Earth, the necessary centripetal force is given by gravitational force of attraction between Earth and Sun. Similar is the cause as a moon revolves around the Earth. That's why for the circular motion of moon, the necessary centripetal force is again given by the gravitational force of attraction between moon and the earth. As we know that electron revolve around the nucleus in a circular orbit. For the circular motion of electron around the nucleus, now the necessary centripetal force is given by electrostatic force of attraction between positively charged nucleus and negatively charged electron. Now if we consider a particular object that is tied with the help of string, and when it is read in a horizontal circle, then the necessary centripetal force is provided by the tension in the string. When any vehicle which is moving along the horizontal cover road, then for the circular motion of that vehicle, here the necessary centripetal force provided by the force of friction. So these are the certain examples which can write in case of the centripetal force. Let us repeat again. Here, as the earth revolves around the sun, that's why for the circular motion of earth, the necessary centripetal force is given by gravitational force of attraction. As electron revolve around the nucleus, the necessary centripetal force for the circular motion of earth is given by electrostatic force of attraction. Object tied with the help of string and revolved in a horizontal circle, the necessary centripetal force is given by tension in the string. Any vehicle which is moving, that is the four-wheeler vehicle, which is moving along the horizontal curve road, in that case the necessary centripetal force is given by force of friction. Now we can consider the characteristics of the centripetal force. The first characteristic we can write from the definition as, here this is the force which is always acted toward the center and along the radius. Now second characteristic is that this force is a real force. Now which force is considered as a real force? That is the force which originated from the known interaction like gravitation, like electrostatic. That force is called as a real force. It means whose origin that was known, that is called as the real force. Now this centripetal force arises in inertial frame of reference. Later on we will explain what do you mean by inertial frame of reference and non-inertial frame of reference. In a simple way, at this moment keep in mind that the frame in which Newton's laws hold good, that is the inertial frame of reference, and the frame of reference in which Newton's laws doesn't hold good, called as a non-inertial frame of reference. Now this is the force which is necessary for uniform circular motion, and this force caused because of the circular motion. Any object which is performing the circular motion, only on that object this force will be act. So these are the certain characteristics that can be considered in case of the centripetal force. Now consider the second type of force as a centrifugal force. We can also split this word in a similar way. Centri means center and fugal means away. It means this is the force which is acting away from the center. So here we have to consider the proper definition as, this is the force experienced by the particle or body which is performing the circular motion. Now this force is acted away from the center and again along the radius. That force is called as a centrifugal force. Let us repeat again. This is the force experienced by the body or particle performing the circular motion which is acted away from the center and along the radius, called as a centrifugal force. Now this force is also given in a similar way that of the centripetal force. The same formula. You can say that the magnitude of centripetal force and centrifugal force that are equal. Only the difference is that there is a change in direction. Centripetal force always act toward the center and centrifugal force always act away from the center. So that's why I write here the same formula, that is centrifugal force equal to m into a, where m is the mass of that body or particle performing circular motion and a is a centripetal acceleration. I write here mv square by r, mv omega and mr omega square. Now consider the examples in which we can experience this type of force, that is the centrifugal force. A very familiar example, everyone we experience when we sit in a bus and that bus start moving along the curved road. When bus takes the left turn, then the passenger which are sitting in that bus, that passenger get the opposite jerk, opposite push. If the bus take the turn toward the left, the passenger in the bus that will move toward the right. Now this right move acting on the body of passenger, that is because of the centrifugal force. When any bus moving along the curved road, if that bus take the turn along the left side or on the right and left side, then the force which is acting on the body of that passenger, that on opposite side because of the centrifugal force. A second example, if you consider a bucket full of water and if we tie that bucket with the help of certain rope, and when it is moved in a vertical circle, now when this bucket reach at the top, then the water doesn't fall, doesn't spill out. But there is a particular condition, that is when this bucket move with the certain speed. When that bucket reach at the top of the vertical circle, the weight of that bucket along with the water, that is balanced by the particular force. That force is called as a centrifugal force. Now third example, in a merry-go-round, when this merry-go is at rest position, all the chairs of that merry-go-round that will be parallel to each other. When this merry-go-round start its motion, then what happens? These branches which are parallel to each other, now these branches throw outward. That is because of the centrifugal force. Now this one is important for the objective purpose. Though we considered Earth is completely spherical, but actually it is not a spherical, but it is ellipsoid. Its two ends are close to each other, that is polar ends, and equatorial ends that are away from each other. That's why this particular shape called as a elliptical shape. This elliptical shape of the Earth, burgeoning of the Earth, is because of the centrifugal force. Now in case of washing machine also, we use this force in a dryer. When we put the wet clothes, then the water from that wet clothes thrown away because of the force, that is nothing but the centrifugal force. So these are all the familiar examples in which we experience the centrifugal force. Now consider the characteristic of the centrifugal force. Now here centrifugal force always acts away from the center. Second one, centrifugal force is called as a pseudo. Pseudo means imaginary. It is not a real force. This force is a imaginary force. Later on we will explain why this force is called as a pseudo force. In simple, this is the force which doesn't originate from the known interaction, whose origin that was not known. That's why this force is called as a pseudo force. Now this force exists in non-inertial frame of reference. This force is not necessary for the uniform circular motion. That's why right here not responsible for UCM. And this is the effect of circular motion. This force is the effect of circular motion. So these are the certain characteristics of the UCM. So today we discuss the two types of motion, that is the circular motion, uniform circular motion and non-uniform circular motion. And we discuss here the two types of force, that is the centripetal force and centrifugal force. Later, the next part that will be discussed later.